Imagine if Nintendo had an entry to their biggest and most financially successful franchise of all time, then never released it for consumers to buy. Not only that, but they had multiple entries like this, with some of the franchise's most unique and fascinating levels to boot. Well, this actually happened. You see, this image does not contain the full story of Mario Kart's history, and it's missing some of the most eccentric games in the entire series. A list of entries that have never been referenced on any official Nintendo console. But for how long will this be the case? Today, let's take a look at how all this could change soon, explore how it's entirely possible that we could be getting some of these tracks in the Booster Course Pass DLC, and answer the big question: did Nintendo forget about Mario Kart Arcade GP? Now, maybe this is a series you've become familiar with at the arcade, like Dave & Buster's, but the first game extends all the way back to 2005, releasing even before Mario Kart DS. While Nintendo was making sure that they could get their cash cow out on modern consoles, they actually let Namco develop this game, which definitely explains the inclusion of some unconventional Mario Kart characters. Admittedly, this is a weird Mario Kart series, and that's actually for a good reason. When you consider the nature of arcades, Namco would have to make a game that would justify spending quarters just to play Mario Kart. After all, why would anyone want to play Mario Kart at an arcade when they can just go play Mario Kart at home? Well, does Mario Kart at home have character-specific cups? Does it have a camera for each player? Does it have Blinky? Does it have 93 items, including fart gas? Okay, this definitely is a weird series. When you saw this at an arcade, though, you knew you had to play it. At its core, it's still easily recognizable as Mario Kart, but Namco added such a unique and interesting spin to this game that it would intrigue even the most experienced Mario Kart players. And now it's dead. Well, the series lives on. In fact, there was a game that just recently released that took advantage of virtual reality. But with the earlier titles, you can't really play them. Maybe you'll find them at an arcade that still holds them, but most of those arcades probably drop the cabinets for newer games. So unless you have a few grand to cough up, or you want to play these games through a means Nintendo probably wouldn't approve of, good luck even playing these titles. But that's where the Switch comes in. There's no question that Nintendo's been making an absolute bank off of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Clearly, there's never been more demand for Mario Kart, especially on the Switch. But understandably, to avoid undercutting Mario Kart 8 Deluxe sales, Nintendo just doesn't seem interested in making a brand new Mario Kart game. After all, Mario Kart 8 just isn't appealing anymore when you can buy the same game with a bigger number attached to the title instead. This is probably why Nintendo's still supporting the game with DLC 5 years later. 8 years later if you include the original Mario Kart 8. However, Nintendo has put other Mario Kart games on the Switch, such as Mario Kart Home Circuit, which is more of a toy than a video game, but it's still a new game and doesn't really take any experience away from Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. A better comparison though is that Nintendo has already put retro Mario Kart games on the Switch, being Super Mario Kart and Mario Kart 64 through their online service. There's really no reason why Nintendo couldn't put Mario Kart Arcade GP on the Switch, because not only is it a retro game, but it's also wildly different from the traditional Mario Kart games. And since there's clearly a financial incentive to put more Mario Kart games on the Switch, and it wouldn't take nearly as much effort as making an entirely new game, the real question is, how would Nintendo port these games onto the Switch? Now, Nintendo could put these games into the Nintendo Switch Online service as an added bonus. If something like this randomly dropped, it wouldn't even surprise me at this point, given how inconsistent Nintendo updates the service. But if you want to subscribe to something that offers frequent Nintendo content, you could just subscribe to the channel. It's free and you'll get even more cool videos just like this one, which is infinitely better than paying $20 a year to play Kirby's Dream Buffet at 17 frames per second. So personally, I think it would be really fun to be able to experience these arcade games online with friends, both out of console to really attach the series to, unlike Super Mario Kart and Mario Kart 64. It's really hard to see how this game would be incorporated onto the service. Nintendo could honestly just drop one of these games on the eShop. Why would they release an old arcade exclusive onto the eShop though? Well, they've actually done it before, even before the Nintendo Switch Online service. Nintendo has released several arcade games onto the eShop through the Arcade Archive series, which includes many games like Versus Super Mario Bros., Super Pac-Man, and the original Punch-Out. Sure, a lot of these games are older, but frankly, they're no less unavailable to the public than Mario Kart Arcade GP. If Nintendo is willing to port these games from this series, I guess the question is, which games would they like to see ported? Well, I'd have to go with Mario Kart Arcade GP2. DX is still a fairly new game that is used in several arcades today, and I think the Labo headset is going to need a few more upgrades before we'll be able to take full advantage of the VR. As for the first game, the sequel is better in literally every facet. It essentially took all the content from the original Mario Kart arcade game and expanded upon it while still offering unique content that isn't DX. I know it might look weird having just a sequel on the eShop eShop without its predecessor, but that didn't stop Nintendo from only having Mario Party 2 on the Wii's Virtual Console. Again, it's a unique Mario Kart game on the Switch that has never been used on any console before. There's no way Nintendo loses any money here, but if Nintendo doesn't want to port any of these games to the Switch, there's still one more way these games could get revived. And that brings us to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's Booster Course Pass. Once again, this image ignores Mario Kart Arcade GP titles entirely. But is that because Nintendo has no intentions to bring back any tracks from these games? Or is Nintendo cooking up a special surprise? Before you say no, let's just be clear. This image does not have to be taken at face value anymore. Sky High Sundae blew all of that out of the water because it's not a remastered track. Even though it's coming to Tour, it's a brand new track that does not have Tour written in its name, like the actual Mario Kart Tour tracks in the Booster Course Pass. So yes, we are getting remastered tracks from these games that were shown. But clearly Nintendo's willing to throw in a bit extra, and it didn't seem like anyone was complaining about that inclusion. So I mean, come on, Mario Circuit 3's in there. If Nintendo just said, hey, here's some remastered track from this funny Mario Kart arcade game that you've probably never heard of, have fun, I think most people would probably love that. And hey, Mario Kart arcade titles have some of the coolest tracks in the entire series. In fact, the Mario Kart Wii community has already modded arcade titles into their game. So there's already a demand for it, and it's been tested on mainline Mario Kart games. Some of these tracks are just itching to be remade in a mainline Mario Kart game. Yoshi Park 2, for example, is a theme park in Yoshi's Island style, featuring a trick room with moving decorations and backgrounds, and a horror house, which takes heavy inspiration from the Luigi's Mansion series. If you thought Waluigi Stadium was cool in Wii, Mario Kart Arcade GP's Waluigi Stadium is loaded with animatronic dinosaurs, such as the Stegosaurus, T-Rexes, and Pterodactyls, that fly under the track. In Banana Ruins, you can explore ancient banana-themed temples and their labyrinths, which seem to pay homage to the Donkey Kong legacy. Both Rainbow Coaster and Rainbow Downhill are essentially this series' Rainbow Road tracks, and you can really never have too many Rainbow Road tracks in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. But what I think are the coolest tracks are Pac Mountain and Pac Labyrinth. If it weren't obvious, these tracks are dedicated to the Pac-Man franchise. Pac Mountain is based on the more modern Pac-Man games, such as Pac-Man World, while Pac Labyrinth, however, starts off in Pac-Land, and then you end up in what is basically the first Pac-Man, which is reimagined as a Mario Kart track. Not only do you drive past a line of pellets and sprites of Ghosts and Pac-Man, but the exit at the end teleports you, which is definitely a reference to the teleporting from one side of the maze to the other from the original arcade titles. If we got any of these tracks in Mario Kart 8 style, they would look absolutely beautiful. And I think that even though these arcade titles aren't renowned Mario Kart games, everybody would have a blast being able to play these tracks for the first time. Now, you may have noticed that some of these tracks don't have 3 laps, which obviously isn't the traditional lap count. However, this wouldn't be the first time in Mario Kart, so this shouldn't be a big deal for these tracks if they really wanted to add them. Also, if there's an issue with pacing, there's really nothing stopping Nintendo from just adjusting the lap count, like how they reduced Mario Kart 64's Rainbow Road to 1 lap, or how they changed Baby Park's lap total in Mario Kart DS and Tour. Although I personally prefer to have 7 laps like when the track was brought back in Mario Kart 8. Now, really quickly, when it comes to the Booster Course Pass, I just want to talk about some recent leaks. Well, these aren't as much leaks as it is Nintendo just doing an oopsie. I'll try to be vague if you don't want to be spoiled, but basically a ton of the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass was pretty much dumped into the game with a recent update. So a bunch of music and sound bites from tracks that people are familiar with were found in the game's files. However, it goes even further than that. See, even a lot of tracks that didn't have music pushed with this update, the actual consoles those tracks are from got revealed. So we essentially already know what game every track that will be added is from, and there's no Mario Kart Arcade GP to be found. But hold on, I still think it's possible because there's still several tracks without titles. And sure, these could just be brand new tracks, but that's obviously not confirmed. There's basically 5 unconfirmed tracks like this. And while these may be entirely new courses, that might just not be the case. See, other than the city-based tracks, which all get labeled as tour tracks in Mario Kart 8, Mario Kart Tour has 3 original tracks, which 2 of them are already in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, being Sky High Sundae and Ninja Hideaway. So with only 1 more track from Tour that meets this criteria left, can we really expect Nintendo to release 4 more original tracks from the Booster Course Pass when Tour just received its 3rd track after 3 years have passed since it's released? I don't think it's a stretch to say that this might not happen. And on that note, all I'm saying is there's something suspicious going on with the Acorn Cup. This cup has 2 blank tracks back to back, which is kind of weird since a lot of cups have no new tracks. And this cup already features a track from Tour. And all I'm saying is that maybe this is where we see the first ever Mario Kart Arcade retro track. And I think this would absolutely be sick to see. And even if we don't see something like this happen in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe specifically, it should and probably will happen in a future Mario Kart game. And honestly, I think it would help keep retro tracks more fresh because there's so much to pull from. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is already having to pull from Tour and add new tracks to avoid oversaturation. Like Mario 64, for example, has only one track that has never been used as a retro track in any Mario Kart game, and it's Wario Stadium, which might just be the most exploited broken track in Mario Kart history. But yeah, I really think that's inevitable that we will start seeing references to these arcade games on consoles. And hey, if Nintendo wants to go crazy, they could just throw in Pac-Man and the rest of the gang as DLC if you win all the cups in the Booster Course Pass. Okay, maybe I'm just getting ahead of myself at this point. So, if Nintendo really wanted to pull an ultimate wildcard and include tracks from a Mario Kart arcade game, could they do it? Well, probably, but Nintendo might just need permission to use some of these tracks. You see, with the game being produced by Bandai Namco, Mario Kart Arcade GP has an entire Pac-Man Cup, and Nintendo definitely does not have the rights to Pac-Man. However, given Namco's relationship with the Nintendo, it wouldn't seem too difficult for Nintendo to get a hold of these tracks for the Booster Course Pass. It's worth noting that Bandai Namco just recently developed Super Smash Bros. Ultimate for the Nintendo Switch, and some of their characters, being Pac-Man and Kazuya, were allowed to join the roster. Even more interesting though is that when it comes to Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Pac-Man is already in it. Now, you won't find him immediately when you open the character select screen, but if you were to have a Pac-Man amiibo figure, you can just scan it in and unlock an exclusive Pac-Man costume for your Mii. Sure, it's not huge representation, but it goes to show that Pac-Man can absolutely have references in this game. I personally think that of all of the tracks to include in this game, Pac-Man's might make the most sense. These tracks represent a core part of Mario Kart Arcade GP's series and their identity. And since Pac-Man is essentially the most iconic video game character of all time, I can't imagine too many people would be disappointed with these tracks being added. And I, for one, think this would be a super cool concept. So with all that said, be sure to let me know in the comments below how likely you think this is and what tracks from the arcade series you'd like to see added. Be sure to like and subscribe, and be sure to check out this video right here talking about the Nintendo Switch's biggest controversies.